Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name's Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today I'm going to be introducing a new cut file that I have for Father's Day, and I'll post a picture of it in the top left corner. And I'm just going to show you how to put that card together, so we're just going to jump right into it. So I've already pre-cut all the pieces that come in the set. It is a beer bottle and it says Best Dad Ever in the middle. This full beer bottle and text is kind of like your layering placements, and then these other layers go on top. You can use it with or without this layer. You could even just use this layer with this full text here. So you can like mix and match how you do it. I did cut everything in white, so I'm going to be doing quite a bit of ink blending today. The only thing I cut in a different cardstock was the silver top for the bottle, because I wanted the cap to be silver. But I'm just going to get started with the background before I start on these. And I'm going to be using Pretty Pink Posh's layered bokeh stencil, just because I think it would be nice to like mimic like bubbles. And I'm going to be using Distress Oxide inks for this. I'm going to use Vintage Photo, Fossilized Amber, and Squeezed Lemonade. And I'm going to start with the Vintage Photo for the smallest dots and just make them lighter as I go up. Okay, so actually the first layer will be the Fossilized Amber, and then I will do the Vintage Photo and then the Squeezed Lemonade. Use some Easy C tape and taped to my cardstock. I've actually not used this stencil yet. I've been buying a lot of stencils lately. As I mentioned in my last video, I will be doing a video on just stencils that I've purchased from Temu lately. But for now, I'm just going to be using the ones that I've bought a long time ago and haven't used yet. So I'm going to start off with this. I have these finger daubers from Amazon, but they're brush tips, not the foam. I like these. This is the one I use for the yellow oxides. And then we're just gonna like lightly ink blend. I don't want to use too much ink, and I'm not too worried about the edges just because I will be cutting this panel down to fit an A2 card. So I'll just play some music while I ink blend the background. Actually gonna let that dry for a bit before I move on to the next color, just because the next color is lighter. I don't want it mixing. I kind of want it to sit on top. And I will need this Vintage Photo because I'm also using it for the beer bottle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ink blend the beer bottle pieces. And you'll notice that I've concentrated the ink just at the top here and along the sides, and this just gives it a little bit more of a 3D dimensional look, and it also gives it the look of like that beer bottle glass. Because this is the layering piece, I'm not too worried about this section. I just want the edges more so covered so that you don't see the white cardstock underneath when I do layer it up. But this middle portion will matter. Okay, that's it for the bottle. So I am gonna splatter a bit of water on here. Okay, I'm gonna set these aside to dry for a bit. Clean them off my surface. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that like this is just a laminated piece of white paper that I use as a palette. It's quite simple, it's cheap. I'm just gonna move on to these pieces just because I'm using a dye ink. I don't have a dark blue Distress ink. I'm gonna do the Best and then the Ever in blue, and then I think I might do it in an ombre, so start dark, go light, do a little bit on top of the dad and the bottom, and then do the opposite at the bottom here. And like, you could cut these into colored cardstocks if you want. You don't have to ink blend. I like ink blending just because it adds a little bit more texture and depth to things, and just because I don't want to have to cut this out in a bunch of different colors. It's a lot easier to cut everything in white and just color it afterwards. For me anyway, that's my personal preference. Now I'll clean this up. And then you can do the colors whatever your dad's favorite beer bottle happens to be. Okay, now I'm gonna set these pieces aside and then continue on the background with my last layer, which is the biggest of dots. And I'll be using the Squeeze Lemonade for that one. Okay, and that's that background completed. Looks like the brown, the vintage photo, I went a little bit heavy on in some areas because it wasn't quite dry. It's a little smudgy in some of these areas, but I think that's fine. A lot of this will get cut off anyway, and then I'm just gonna mount this onto a craft paper card base that kind of matches up with the rest of it. So I think I'll start assembly of the beer bottle first and let that background dry a little bit. I think I'm gonna keep this fairly level. I will add the layers down flat, and then I will just prop up the whole bottle on some foam tape before putting it on the background. You could, if you wanted to, add foam tape between all of these layers just to add more dimension, and I might even do that for the sentiment. But I think for the, maybe just the dad portion, but for the bottle, I'm just gonna glue it straight down. Okay, and I think I am going to use some foam tape to prop up these layers. I have some of these little squares from the dollar store. That should fit. They're a bit thicker than what I normally use, but I think that the added dimension will be okay. What's missing on this cut file, the label that goes up here. I think I'll add that before I post this video, but I will just make it up. Okay, I think that's better. So I will add this band in the cut file, so it won't make a difference for you guys, and you can use it or you don't use it. That's up to you. I think it works good both ways. Okay, so I'm going to cut this panel down to, I believe this cut file is set at 5, so I want to do it 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut off 3/4, so I'm going to do 3/8 and then 3/8 off each, off the top and the bottom. And then I want it to be 4 wide, so I'm going to cut it 2 off and then 2 off. No, sorry, I'm going to cut 1 off each side. That's cute. And then you could like put it off to the side if you want, and if you want to add another sentiment in here for Happy Father's Day or whatever, you could do that. You could also cut this panel down just so it's a strip and then have the beer bottle centered on the strip. I think this is cute. So I'm going to leave it like this. I am going to add foam tape to the back of the beer bottle, and then I will glue this straight down. And then we'll get out my Big Mama foam tape and use up these pieces. So that's our card for this week. Next week we'll have another cut file ready, and I might even do that bonus turnabout stamping tutorial with the A2 sized background, and we're gonna make our own jig. So I think I will do those 2 videos for next week. So yeah, so thanks again for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!